name is Vanessa Arn, and I am a professional cook. My personal opinion about the war is that it is a plan that was developed a long time before September 11th. That September 11th happened to be a catalyst for a neoconservative movement by not only the president, but specific heads of state, including Pearl and Wolfowitz and Dick Cheney, among others, and that this is their personal, and I think the president had it right when he mistakenly called it a crusade at the beginning of the war, because I think that's pretty much the way they see it. It is not only about oil, although that's a large part of it, about the control of the oil in the region. It is also about American dominance of the world, and they have said as much insofar as that we are the greatest, strongest superpower since the Roman conquest. So I feel like it doesn't make me any more safe to have this war happening. It makes me feel more threatened. One, I can't give an honest, or I can't give a very authoritative answer about that. I think that we're going to see the blossoming of a lot more material for suicide bombers to rally around, not only from Iraq, because I think that a lot of the Middle Eastern countries are seeing what's happening now, and they are getting really worried that they're next on the list, and they're going to probably support any movement that happens in Iraq from outside of Iraq. Yeah, I can't say. Yeah, it's going to be a safe place as long as you're willing to give up your rights, which is what's happening with the Patriot Act and the Patriot Act 2 they're trying to introduce now. So yeah, it's a safe place, but it's not a free place anymore. I protest regularly, and as a protester, I could be classified as a terrorist according to the Patriot Act, and that doesn't make me feel happy because I've given up my freedom, and I don't feel that much safer now. But I don't think that there's a threat directly to Austin. Yeah, I think that bigger cities like New York and San Francisco are probably have a greater chance of getting hit first. But I don't feel particularly threatened here by outside terrorist forces. It is a 300-plus page document that was introduced, I think, a week or so after September 11th. And it's my personal belief that a 300-page document could not be written in a week, that it was waiting for an opportune moment to be launched. And what it does is basically categorically usurp all of my rights that were given to me as part of the Constitution of the United States of America. It takes away the rights of and it doesn't say, and a lot of people think that this is not something that's going to concern them because they're not doing anything wrong, but it doesn't say specifically Arab people are the target of these new laws. It says anybody is a target. Anybody can now have their email read without their knowing, their house entered and searched without their knowing, without a search warrant. They just need to have to have an interest in you, basically, to come in and do that. Your library records can be looked up. Your whatever you bought from the bookstore can be looked up. Just incredible invasions of privacy. Attorney-client privilege is done away with. I can't even go on. The list is enormous. There are many websites dealing with the issue. Sure, I feel like I don't have the right to. I feel like there are bigger consequences now for being patriotic and questioning my government, which is a basic right of living in a democratic society, to question my government and ask it questions. And now it's being there's just a lot of secrecy going on in the government. President Bush has methodically covered up his tracks. You are no longer able to access documents that were created when he was governor here in Texas. Freedom of information is just going out the window. And my rights as an individual member of this country are being taken away by the Patriot Act. There's no other way to say it. It's just plain and simple that they are being taken away.
Because can you imagine how many troops is over there? And they got to pay all them troops over there. All them troops, supply ammunition, and then plus transportation over there. And you got all these American warships off the coast. They got to pay them guys on the ship, and then you got to pay. So you're looking at big money. I was in Vietnam, so I was on an aircraft carrier off the coast of Vietnam. And on the aircraft carrier, I was only with 3,500 guys on the aircraft carrier. And we got a paycheck guaranteed in 2 weeks. And we knocked them bombers in Vietnam, the bomb Vietnam. And you know, the gas on the airplanes is expensive. The JP4, that's jet fuel. And all that's expensive, so I don't know how much money I don't know how much money we lost in the war, but I know this much though. Well, they claimed that we was a total of 58,000 men was killed in the Vietnam War, but I feel like it was more than that though. And there's still, from what I understand, there's still about 1,700 to 1,800 people in Zonas County that they still looking for in Vietnam, and they haven't been accounted for yet. They say they assume they're dead, but some say they're not dead, they're there. But I can believe they're living over there. I mean, they probably got over there in some kind of way, they found a way to get with the government.
Did they take care of the family who was remaining here? Or did the government take care of the family who were remaining here?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Was that something, like I met some Vietnam veterans that said, well, we're still waiting for our money.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, you know, when I was in Vietnam, this guy was, they said, killed in action after so long, and after the war was over with, this guy showed up at the POW. But then they say he was killed in action, but see, they had paid his family and all that stuff, all the money, and then he showed up as a prisoner of war. I said, so what happened to the money that didn't pay the family? That's something I never got the answer on that. And I don't know I don't know if you had to pay that money back or not, but I know this much though. They got the money, so, but they still got to pay him for being a POW. And more than likely, probably the Vietnamese probably slipped something into the United States' hands to say he was dead. Like, say like for an example, like a man got killed. They might snatch his dog tags off and throw his dog tags on another man and mutilate him so bad and you can't tell him who he is. They're not gonna never tell you the whole straight story. You know, like a journalist, a newspaper guy, he goes out and get information about certain things. When he write a news report or either write a newspaper, well, he's gonna beef his story up. He's gonna add something to it to make it more interesting. You know, like a newspaper person. Like what's happening here in Austin, it's not all in the Austin statement. They don't put everything in the Austin statement. They will not do it. They will not do it because they feel like, you know, if they put everything in the Austin statement, people say, well, what? Oh, I can't believe this is happening. And that's the way it goes sometimes.
My name is Holly Taylor and I'm 36. I'm a mom of 4 and I'm an attorney. Okay. In general, I'm against the war. I think it's a mistake. I was supporting our actions against Osama bin Laden, but I don't understand how that connected to Iraq. I didn't sense that Saddam was an immediate threat. I think perhaps North Korea might even be more of a threat, and yet more dangerous. I don't support our action there. However, I do support our troops, and I am cautious not to phrase my opinions in terms that would indicate that I wouldn't be sympathetic to those men and women that are deployed over there. I'm very sympathetic to them, and I think they're doing the right thing. I just disagree with our president's decision.
Everybody, my name is Robert, and I live in Austin, Texas. I've lived in Texas almost all my life, and I'm opposed to this war. I want you people to know that less than a third of the population of this country voted for Bush and what he's doing, and that we had a 50-50 election, and they just stole it. They took power through Jeb Bush being the brother of the president, George Bush, and now this is what we got to deal with. And I'm calling for an immediate end to the war and bringing the troops home. I don't think this is in the United States' best interest at all. I think that they're doing it for oil money, for military power, military prestige, and pride. They want people to be afraid of the United States, and that if you don't play ball, if you don't go along with what the U.S. says, they'll invade you and take your country and kill your people. I think they're doing this because they know that Europe gets most of their oil from the Persian Gulf, and that by controlling the Persian Gulf and the oil there, they'll be in a better position in the coming years to compete economically with the European Union. I don't see how this can be good for U.S. relations with any country, anywhere, when our biggest trading partners, Canada and Mexico, are both opposed to what's happening. All I can do is pray that this doesn't cause World War III, and that we can get this guy out of power before too many more people get killed.
Okay.
Ask me your question again. The reason I think people are in support of this and why this was able to happen is that most people are still in shock from 9/11. You know, they're in mourning. And they were told, hey, we found the guys who did this. You know, come on, let's go get them. People are like, yeah, let's go get them. Well, you know, the connection between the Ba'ath Party and Al-Qaeda, it was lies. They lied to us. The letter to the UN Security Council, where they said that they had evidence of an Iraqi nuclear weapons program, it was lies. The evidence of chemical and biological weapons, it was lies. You know, it's all been lies. They told us that we'd be greeted as liberators, and that the Iraqis were going to throw flowers on our tanks. It was lies. And I'm hoping, I believe in my fellow countrymen, and I know that they want to do the right thing. And I think when they figure out that they've been lied to, they're going to be pissed. They're going to be really angry, and hopefully we can get these people out of power and maybe get some truth back into our government. Peace, y'all. You know, help us, you know, morally. Noam Chomsky said, you know, the current you know, in the invasion of Kuwait to change the regime there, it's kind of the same thing we did in Panama just a few months before that. You know, it's hypocrisy.
Yeah, it's very bad.
But people here in the United States that watch television news that's controlled by the corporations, Disney, General Electric, Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation, News Corp.
Yeah. But other than that, you know, it's we're just about this. We don't want
So we had like your pro and your anti protesters.
Today?
That was last week, and we had to put a couple of those folks
Yeah.
jail done thing. So
They got out of hand, or?
they definitely did. They definitely did, you know. So, you know, you get your quirks here and there.
Mm-hmm. Is Congress in session right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in session.
Honestly, I think it's a big scam. I think that that it's a cover-up for what happened at the World Trade Center.